large letting next month, so just make sure your pencils are sharpened. I do have pay estimates this morning. The first one I have is for our county general maintenance for 2021. This is a pay estimate to Gallagher Materials. This is for coal patch picked up at the at their plant with our trucks, and that amount is $1,562.44. Next is for our Kankakee County General Maintenance for 2021 Supplement 3. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction Company. This is for the oil and chip work that was done in the county, and that amount is $30,069.77. Next is for our county general maintenance for 2021. It's a supplement 1 payable to Osborne Associates. This is for aluminum traffic sign blanks, and that amount is $1,506.05. Next is for our county general maintenance for 2021. This is a pay estimate to Vulcan Construction Materials. This is for road mix picked up at the quarry with our trucks, and that amount is $677.13. Next is for Junior Township Road District for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a supplement 1. This is payable to the Junior Township Treasurer. This is for equipment rental, and that amount is $21,779.47. Next is Essex Township Road District for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction. This is for the oil and chip work that was done in the township, and that amount is $4,206.53. Next is Junior Township for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction for oil and chip work done in the township, and that amount is $23,551.27. Next is Mantino Township for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction for oil and chip work that was done in the township, and that amount is $9,148.41. Next is Momence Township Road District for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction for oil and shipping done in the township, and that amount is $65,183.73. Next is Salina Township Road District for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction. This is for oil and chip work done in the township, and that amount is $4,509.64. Next is Sumner Township Road District for their 2021 general maintenance. This is a final pay estimate to Grasso Construction. This is for the oil and chip work that was done in the township, and that amount is $8,410.95. Next is Pembroke Township Road District for their 2021 general maintenance supplement 2. This is payable to the Pembroke Township Road District Treasurer, and this is for equipment rental, and that amount is $3,176.44. And last is for our section 17-00185-03-RS. This is payable to the Treasurer, State of Illinois. This is our 20% share of the construction, the overlay that was done on County Highway 9 this year, and that amount is $195,024.33.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask for a motion first, and then we can have any comments if anybody has any. Can I have a motion on the second for the county engineer's pay estimate, please, Mr. Okay, Ms. Long. Second, Mr. Bryan.
Hudson.
Pardon me?
I miss Bryan. She's Miss.
Oh, Mr. Hudson. I'm sorry about that. You guys are close together, so I just misread that. Name tags over there. Yeah, I thought it was you. Okay, well, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Collins?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Raymond?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. I should ask for the comments first, but wait.
All right.
All right, next on the agenda is the resolution.
Yes, I do have a resolution this morning for declaration of highway department equipment as surplus property. I didn't bring pictures of everything because everything is pretty much, it doesn't work or it's outdated, but we have 2 compact laptop computers, 1 realistic 100-watt amplifier, 1 HP 1200 series printer, 52 portable Motorola radios with related hardware, 8 handheld Motorola radios with related hardware. These are the ones that had to be replaced along with the sheriff's department, so we have all the old ones that we're just going to dispose of. 1 HP LaserJet 1012 printer, 1 Craftsman auto scroller saw, 3 backup uninterrupted power supply units, 1 Casio adding machine, 3 keyboards, 1 Oki Dot matrix printer, 1 Dorio 12-inch monitor, 1 15-inch Samsung monitor, 1 VCR TV wall bracket, and 1 View and View 12-inch monitor.
Okay, this time I'm gonna have a motion on the second, and I'm gonna open up for discussion. So can I have a motion on the second, please? Okay, now is Ms. Bryan. Made a motion, second by? Okay, McSmith. Let's have a discussion. I saw quite a bit. It was quite a large list of things this time.
Yeah.
I was reading it last night, so that's kind of interesting. It's kind of
Yeah, just it's stuff that has accumulated in our electronic disposal pile. We kind of do this once a year for the disposal of our electronics. So I just wanted to make sure everything was listed and we do this properly.
Okay. Anybody have any comments, any questions for Mr. Rogers? No comments? No questions? That will be a voice vote. Everybody in favor signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same sign? Motion passes. Do you have anything else for us?
I do not have anything except that I want to thank this committee for their support through this year and hope you all have a Merry and blessed Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Mark.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Andrews.
Morning.
The time is all yours.
All right, good morning. Facility dude report for the month of November. We had 134 work orders in the system, slightly below average. Moving on to the financial report that you have in front of you there. Call out a few line items. 52,100, you'll see there, that's building maintenance improvements. We were considerably over where we were at this point last year, $50,000 over, but you know, that's a lot of repairs to the facilities that I try to discuss every month with you, you know, at these meetings. So 56,400, that's repairs by outside contractors. Again, we were up over $15,000 of where we were at this point last year. And then 56,850, which is miscellaneous supplies, happy to report down 22,000 from this point last year. So overall, we're looking at about a $57,000 increase where we were at this point last year. So any questions? Not horrible, but not great either.
Mr. Chairman? Over here.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Andrews,
Yes, sir.
what kind of increase in labor costs have you had for your outside contractors? Are they increasing their time and materials or hourly rate on you at any point?
I haven't seen any increase in the hourly rate that would be sufficient, but certainly the supply of materials has increased.
Is it in the 7% range that everybody's talking about, or has it been higher?
I'd have to look. I don't know off the top of my head what it is, but I'm sure it's you know, probably near that.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Okay. Moving on to building report. Here at 189, what's on everybody's mind, the elevator. We're set for inspection December 27th. It's done. It's ready to go. That would be the west elevator. So we need to just get it inspected. Assuming that it passes, that will be then activated, and then Kone will move to the other elevator. There have been delays, obviously. I think the last couple months we've discussed delays surrounding mostly electronic components, trying to get the necessary wiring and switches. The electrician had a hard time locating a lot of the stuff, and then when he did, the lead times were significant. So most of the delays are related to not necessarily Kone, but a lot of the work by others, if you will, that was a component of the project. So happy to report inspection December 27th. Hopefully we pass. I expect that we will. And then at that point, we'll move on to phase 2 of the project. So here at 189, faucets, plumbing related repairs were pretty much the theme of the last month. And is the case in many old buildings. Some of the sinks don't have shutoffs. If they do have shutoffs, they don't work. So trying to repair faucets and other plumbing related things when you don't have the necessary shutoffs or they're not working correctly, everything is more labor intensive and more costly. So we did a lot of that the last month. Just today, actually, the unit that down in the server room, we found that it was an alarm this morning, so we have a contractor out right now troubleshooting that. So I'll have an update on that next week. Courthouse grant update. The last request that I had gotten was for photos of the inside and outside of the courthouse for I believe for the Historic Preservation Office in Springfield. Those have all been submitted. And Andy, I don't know if you've heard any additional updates, but they ask, we give, and that's just kind of how it's been going as of late. Christmas lights, there was some discussion about lighting up the courthouse this year. We looked into it. Half of the lights do not work. And it's not surprising because they haven't been turned on in years. So if that's something that the committee would like to look into next year, might be a good idea, but we'll leave that up to y'all. At the annex, Tom's office door is in and done, still waiting on the bathroom door. As you recall, at this committee, we approved the addition of a bathroom door for drug testing at the annex, so we're still waiting on that. I've been in discussions with the contractor on that, so I hope to get that done over the next couple weeks. We have an auto door lock that's been installed at the annex. Tom Latham actually took care of that after some of the security, I guess, issues of the last several months. He thought it was necessary, and I guess I don't necessarily disagree, but that's something that has been done over there to enhance security at that facility. Old jail. Plumbing, I got plumbing, and more plumbing. That's faucets, toilets, showers, they all leak. They leak them. They leak, we fix. Drains, clogged drains. The majority of the call-ins for both of my guys that are the leads at the jails are 75% of the time, always plumbing-related repairs. Water heaters, faucets, showers. A lot of the push buttons for the showers are very old. They get worn out. They don't work. They need to be replaced. You can't get parts for that old equipment. So then we got to look at retrofitting something new with the old pipe sets. So that's really been the theme for the last month. HVAC. We recall we're we approved the addition of the new ductless mini split, it's called, for the CCTV and nurses station. Of course, that was on back order. They offered me a different product about a month ago. I said, no, let's get the right product, and I'm happy to report that is in and should be done here in a couple weeks. Out at JCDC and Public Safety, next week, contractor will be in to do a lot of the cabinet-related repairs we discussed at the committee last month. The cabinets are in bad shape, as they, probably to be expected. They're 15, 16, 17 years old, falling apart, hinges falling apart. So instead of replacing, we're going to be repairing them, and that'll get underway next week. Alana, to her credit, has been working very hard on the floors out there at Public Safety and the morgue, stripping and waxing and working through the floors. Pretty much every week she's working on another floor. So happy to report that that's moving along. We did have some laundry-related repairs at JCDC. If you're not familiar, we have a full laundry facility there, and we've had several components on the washers and dryers that have had to be replaced, and then the drain system for those as well gets clogged up with lint and whatnot. So we did have some repairs related to that. We've been painting jail doors out there. It's just time. A lot of the jail doors are in need of some paint, so that's being done in-house, cleaning, scraping, painting those doors, so to make the place look as good as possible. Kitchen, we've had several repairs with the dishwashing system, both with the garbage disposals and then the water supply for the dishwashing system. So that's something actually we were working on yesterday and still today. The morgue, we stripped and waxed the floors out at the morgue a couple weeks ago, and then just had some discussions yesterday with Coroner Gessner and Chairman Wheeler. The negative air pressure system in the morgue is in need of significant repair and quite possibly replacement. So I'm working with Coroner Gessner on getting some figures together, and that's something that I hope I can bring to the committee next month. Unless, Andy, do you have anything you want to add on that?
We spoke on this yesterday in committee, and not having the negative air pressure is something that is concerning. So if the state's attorney agrees and it falls into an emergency category, we would move on it
before next
meeting. We wouldn't want to sit a month and expose those in that room to contagion because they don't know what's coming in the door. So that's the whole reason we got the system.
Yeah. So any questions on that? Okay. That's all I have in my building report. We'll move on to the next item in the agenda. And I see Sheriff Downey here as well. We've been looking at the flooring at the public safety, jail administration, and even some parts actually back in the jail. It's in bad shape. We've cleaned it. Since I've been here just over, I think, 3 years, I think I've cleaned it probably once to twice every year. And especially the flooring in public safety, it can't be cleaned anymore. I mean, you clean it, it looks good for maybe a day, and then it's right back to where it is right now. It's very worn. So through some discussions with the sheriff, I went out, talked to some vendors, looked at some different product, both hard surface product and then some carpet product, which we were looking at carpet squares because we believe that makes more sense if you do have a spill or a stain. Obviously, taking up a carpet square is a lot easier than a sheet type good. So I got a couple bids here. Sheriff, do you have anything you'd like to add on the flooring?
No, not really. It's just a 17, or as Wes said, 17-year-old building that some of the jail is obviously a 24/7 operation, so it gets used, it gets worn a lot. And it's just, we want to make it easier to clean in the long run for maintenance, to kind of take a little bit off of them to be able to keep that building looking good.
Okay. So I guess why we're here today is hoping to get some feedback from the committee as to your thoughts on, the flooring out there. It's going to be a significant expense. Do we want to entertain doing it? B, if we do want to do it, what type of flooring do we want? Do we want to go with another carpet product? Do we want to go with something that's hard surface that's going to wear obviously much better? So I guess I'd like to open up to not necessarily looking for a vote today, but some discussion as to which direction you would like us to head with this. I think it needs to be done. It's just a matter of where the funds are coming from and what's the committee's pleasure on this.
So Brian?
I would suggest that we look at LVT flooring. It's vinyl and it's 30-year guarantee. So this is carpet has taken us out 17 years. So just consider it when you look at everything else.
Is that the vinyl plank?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the products that we're looking at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Seawright?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Wes, what part of the public safety building are you looking to really conquer?
It would be the common areas.
The common areas, and they're carpet right now?
Yes.
No tile?
Just tile in the entry.
Okay.
Main entry.
Have you thought about breaking it up and prioritizing a certain section and then doing it by section?
I'm open to any and all options. Obviously, if you break it up, you're going to pay more in the long run. If the funds are available now, it would obviously make more sense to get it done all at once. But again, if that's something the committee would like us to entertain, I'm certainly willing to do that.
Yeah, I'd like to know which area is the worst. It's kind of like...
The worst would certainly, and I think the sheriff would agree, the worst would be the first floor. The traffic coming in from the employee entrance on the east side of the building, going back into the jail is very worn. So certainly the first floor of public safety would be the worst.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
The other option, and as part of the proposals that I've received, a lot of the commercial buildings, if you look nowadays, they're going with a rubber product on the steps. So that is quoted as well. It's expensive, but in the long run, it's going to wear much better. So the steps going up from the first to the second floor, if we wanted to just say, hey, we're going to, it needs to be done, but let's do the carpet, let's do the squares. I can remove the rubber flooring from the steps and save even more money. But again, we're looking for some direction here as to which way we're headed.
Any other comments, questions for Wes? So basically
I'm just looking for some direction. If this is a hard no, I need to know so I can move in that direction.
Mr. Seawright?
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. What's the cost?
Well, I really don't. It's going to be significant. I mean, it's going to probably
Six figures significant?
No, not that much. Not that much. I have numbers here in front of me, but I really don't.
Yeah, we haven't led anything,
So that's why I just wanted to get some direction from the committee. If this is something that you'll entertain, then we will get the numbers formal. We'll go through the process and we'll get it done. Obviously, the sheriff and I didn't want to do all this work if we come to the committee and everybody says, "Whoa, no, not right now." So I guess that's what I'm looking for. And in absence of that, I think I have the direction that I need.
Chairman Wheeler?
The only thought, based on whatever the committee decides, is that if we have infrastructure money now, and it would last us to the useful life of that building, to do a floor that would last as long as the building, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm saying now, instead of piecing it a little bit at a time, using lost revenue money from the COVID money to do whatever we think the best solution is. And it may not be, the most expensive product, but it won't be the cheapest product. It'll be something that lasts us for the next, whatever the guarantee, 30 years, 20 years, whatever.
Right.
And I don't know if you do, the Yellow Brick Road where people walk, it's something more durable, and there's something that's more cost effective off to the side if that looks good. So that's
Yeah, well, we'd have to figure out how that lays out and aesthetically how that looks. But it's certainly, your point makes sense. So I think what I'll get with the sheriff, we'll get a particular product, and then we will go through the necessary steps, put it out to bid, and hopefully by next month's meeting we'll have some firm numbers to discuss. And I think I have all the information that I need, unless there's any other comments.
Well, it would have to, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, it would have to be bid out of this committee if it's over 30 grand.
Correct.
So we would have to come back next month and release the bid. So it's one or the other. If it's under 30, as long as this committee sends it to finance with a recommendation, then it can go. Does that make sense?
I anticipate it needing to be bid, if you understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, just looking to see if the committee, it's okay with you just going forward with looking into companies and, prices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you bring back to the committee for a vote.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman?
No, there's no, he's not asking for a motion, and then we'll leave on that. I think he's just asking for a confirmation if we think it's a good idea, not a good idea.
I didn't want to bid it and do a lot of work up front if in the end the committee says this is not something that we want to entertain.
So long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Did you have a specific plan for the EOC, just kind of thinking ahead that the carpet absorbs some of the echo? And if we went to a hard surface in the EOC, that's where conversation happens.
Mm-hmm. No, we weren't doing anything in the EOC. So it's basically just the common areas, and so nothing in the EOC at this point.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Federland.
Hey, Mr. Andrews, have you looked into these new interlocking type floors that they have? They help with the sound deadening, and they don't make a lot of noise when you walk on them.
Yeah, we had two vendors out, and they looked at the facility and the traffic patterns, and they gave us two product that they recommended. Now, as far as sound and whatnot, to your point, yeah, I think that might be an excellent product if we do go into the EOC or other offices. But right now, that's not on the table right now.
Yeah. Well, if you go out to the, you could probably walk in there. Oak Orthopedics in the Illinois Bone place just opened up, and they use that throughout that building.
Okay.
And it looks spectacular. It's quiet when you walk on it. It's nice and sound, and you could cut out pieces and repair them if you had to. And it's not a hard, shiny surface that you have to wax, but yet again, it's not a rough surface that you got to have trouble getting the dirt out of the grooves. And a lot of companies are having big success with that product, using it in medical centers and hospitals and stuff.
Okay.
So,
all right. Understood. Appreciate it.
Mr. Collins?
Not as bad as the glue-down luxury vinyls are as expense-wise.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I would say that, Wes, you certainly seem like this is something that needs to be done for the preservation, ongoing use of the building. Remodeling my own house right now, I know that my flooring literally in 1 week jumped by $1.79 a square foot. I anticipate that, and inflation is pending, more inflation is coming our way, so if this is something that we're looking at doing in the next, it would be smarter, I think, to do everything at once than piece it out. I anticipate prices skyrocketing more than we've already seen, so it might be something that if we want to do it, we should consider doing it in one bang and getting it in while the cost is where it's at.
All right, thank you.
It just occurred to me, we have finance next week. So if you're able to get a bid together and get it in the newspaper, you could let it at finance next week that quickly. If it's that, it may be too quick. I'm just letting you know. Otherwise, this is the next opportunity next month for this.
Yeah, I think it'll have to be next month just because of the time frames.
Okay.
So
you know.
Okay.
Well, what I see here in this situation is that I didn't actually hear anybody on this committee going against the possibility of you going forward with this. I think most people seem to be agreeing with that needs to be done, and so I guess the only thing here is just it's an okay with that, so we can bring this back to us.
Plan on next month. We'll have an update. We'll get things published. We'll have to follow the proper procedure, but we'll have some numbers to look at hopefully next month.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you
very much. Is there any old business? Yes, Chairman
Oh, I
Wheeler?
apologize. I thought we were missing the next item.
Not yet. We'll be there. Any old business? Under new business, we have the request for qualifications, building project. I guess that's what Chairman Wheeler is going to talk about.
Yeah, this has been a long time in the making. Just to mention what we're going to talk about now, in case there's anybody watching this, well, that's one if. And then the other thing is if somebody that's in the county government that has really bad carpeting in their offices, it'll be addressed in this RFQ. So don't think that we're just taking care of the jail, because the other bad carpeting, like in the circuit clerk's office and other places, will be addressed by what we're talking about here as well. So as you may remember, the full board has approved some projects that we want to look at doing within the county infrastructure, and we're talking about potential animal control, additions, buildings, repairs, whatever that looks like. We're talking about relieving some of the pressure at the courthouse. We're talking about, there was different infrastructure things that we had thrown out there that say, yes, we want to see what these cost and then figure out what we could afford with the COVID money. The ARPA funds, the lost revenue funds, the combinations of those, whether it's just the ADA issues within, say, the circuit clerk's office, the space needs, the air filtration, all of these different things that require, a really focused effort in a lot of different areas. It's a whole bunch of projects, and there's a full list within the RFQ. So we need somebody that is an engineer, that is an architect, to be able to help us put together finally what it is that we're looking to do, working with all these department heads in all these different areas, but then also put a cost behind it. Preliminary drawings based on what they need these spaces to do, and we need these spaces to do. Things that we are going to have to address over the next 15 to 20 years anyway. And we're looking at the opportunity of again, saving local taxpayers money, money that you would normally just send to the federal government that never comes back here. And the whole United States is chipping in towards this effort to rebuild this infrastructure. So this is a burden that normally local taxpayers would bear solely on this. And we want to look at these building projects and these things to benefit the infrastructure of the county, to save money down the road. That is the whole goal of this. So that was expressed intent of the way we're spending some of this COVID money, and also with the building projects that we're looking at. So this process, first we have to find who our partner is that's going to help us put that cost behind everything. Obviously they're going to come in and do their due diligence based on this RFQ, but they have to have had experience working within courthouses and animal control facilities and building them and constructing them and retrofitting them and with COVID protocols, because that is a skill set that just doesn't exist everywhere. So they have to have that experience because it's highly regulated. Supreme Court tells us what has to happen in a courthouse or an addition or an offsite courtroom, whatever the end result is. Same thing with animal control. It's highly regulated by, I believe it's the Department of Agriculture. So there's different standards that we have to meet. So this entity would be the one who would help us put numbers behind it, but then also after we rank it and say we want to do X, Y, and Z as a board, they'd help us manage those construction projects with Wes. So they would be almost the GC, and the intent would be we will be bidding out a lot of these projects, and with in mind that we would love our local contractors to get that actual wrench turning and construction work. So that's the ultimate goal. So is to put this out there, find someone to help us put numbers behind the things that we've already decided we want to do. I'll take any questions, but this isn't spending money yet. It's finding somebody that we will interview, all the applicants, they're the ones that we find qualified, pick one, and then they will tell us how much that will cost. And that whole process will be through, we estimate right now, through COVID money as well, because these are all projects related to ARPA and lost revenue and infrastructure. So I hope that makes sense. We have to know what it is and what it costs in order to make the final decisions what we're going to do.
All of that information is actually on your packet. You should receive that. And they have the dates of everything related to this. And I think Chairman Wheeler already talked a little bit about how that process is going to be to choose someone or company. So it's going to be kind of like an interview committee or screening committee, whatever you want to call. So it's something to this straightforward here. So we're not actually gonna be spending any money, we're just gonna be voting to go forward with this,
To
correct?
release the RFQ and then start the process. Then they will give us a number once we pick somebody, then we'll come back here to recommend that to finance.
Is this going to,
Or not.
is this going to the, after here, are you gonna go to the full board or the finance?
No, this just goes out now.
Goes out now?
Yeah, this goes out now. We have another RFQ for social service programs that's coming out of community services next week. Very similar process.
Okay.
So it'll go out, they do their interviews, then it comes back in. We say, yes, we agree with the interview committee. We're gonna approach, we want a number from these folks. Then that would be either recommended or not recommended to finance to make that decision out of this committee.
Okay,
So we're not spending it here, but ultimately we will down the road.
later on, okay. Is there any comments, any questions on this? Everybody okay with that? All right, so I need a motion and a second to go forward with this.
So moved.
Okay, I'll have you this time. Fatherland will be second, and I think McSmith is made the motion. It's gonna be a voice vote, so everybody in favor signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same sign. Motion passes. That's on the agenda. Any other business? Do we have any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Has made a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Hudson, second. Everybody in favor signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody want to stay a little longer?